主人様の仰せのままに。
本当に座っちゃったよ。そら、食べるがいい。
ご主人様、恥ずかしいです。
見ればわかる。
ご主人様、意地悪です。
次からは自分の分も用意しろ。
Episode number 3 of the Archdemon's Dilemma, and I've said this a couple of times already now. Also, hey, welcome Dom from the Otaku, and welcome to episode 3 review, baby. All right, my friends. So I said this a couple of times now, episode 1 and episode 2. There's just something so unique and significant about this show, and I was like, do I describe it as handsome? I was like, no, that's not the right word. It's an attraction. Like, there's something that makes me so attracted to this show. And on one hand, it's partially because you have kind of like two opposites, but that are very similar, kind of being attracted to each other. And on one side, we have 𝐒𝐴𝐵𝐭, who, was not slave, but was like, a poor kid on the streets, struggling, eating moldy bread and, coming across, being experimented on, going through like some horrific shit, and ends up killing his master, overtaking his knowledge, becoming a powerful sorcerer, and, having to kind of learn how to be now on the top in a sense. But also having to practice something that's frowned upon to live a better life and everything else. On the opposite side, we have Elf or Neffy. We have Elf Girl. This isn't Goblin Slayer. So we have Neffy. So we have Neffy on the opposite side. And with Neffy, she was one of those people, that you see often in ancient stories of like, it has nothing to do with anything that she did. It's simply how she was born. She was born with white hair. She was looked at like a cursed, as cursed. She has the power to manipulate like the forest and plants and stuff, like very, very much elf, like very much elf stuff. Like she's like the strongest of the elves. But for some reason, they saw her as like this cursed evil being. And they treated her as such. They shut her out, and they were malicious and nasty. And eventually, her village got attacked by sorcerers or whatever. Her village got attacked, and she was like, I can make a decision right now. I can go and defend these folks, or let them burn, let them die. And that's what she did. And she's been living with that guilt ever since of letting her... what do you call it? Like you call them like they're like your bad thoughts, like letting her bad thoughts win. And she let herself be captured. That's how she became a slave. And it's all she wrote from there on. And even she found 𝐒𝐴𝐵𝐭, and this episode he put her in a place to where he's like, I don't really care about any of that. Like the stuff that she's really cares about. He's like, none of that. You matter to me. All the other stuff doesn't matter. Your powers, they're awesome. I can't wait to learn more about them. Anything malicious you done, bro's like, yo, I would, if they were alive, I'd go kill them right now for you. You know what I mean? So he's it's like this perfect harmony of these two folks that are kind of like working together, and they're going to kind of like complete each other. And it's really, really cool to see. And it's slower, and it's not like a whole lot happening, but it's just two people discovering themselves within each other. And I think that's such a cool concept. And of course, on top of it, it's in a mystical world, and you have elves, and you have, in the the 𝐸𝐷. I think in the 𝐸𝐷, it shows like a dragon girl who's probably going to come into play. And then you have the church, because of course you have the church. And you have all these other, additional things to kind of like flesh out the world and make it more vibrant and make it more interesting and stuff. But at its core, it's about these two people, falling in love with each other, but also in a sense like completing each other. And it's just such a really unique way to tell a story that I'm genuinely enjoying, And in a sense, it kind of reminds me of the demon McRonald's, the demon anime. I can't even remember the name right now at the tip of my tongue, but essentially it's the one that got some seasons later on. But that was about, a demon lord comes to a demon lord comes to the earth and he's like, you know what? I'll just live here. He just works at McDonald's and begins falling for this other girl who's there. And like, if similar vibe, I mean, hugely different story, but like similar vibes that I get. But I'm just loving it. I love Neffy as a character. I love 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐽 as a character. I love the things that they've been through. I like that 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐽, the girl that he ended up saving, actually ended up being very important in the church, and she's like a representative, which is so weird because like she just looked like some, you know, village girl B, but you know, apparently she's like super duper important, and she's probably gonna be a recurring character because she doesn't really believe in what she's doing. And then obviously as other characters come into play too, it's going to even, you know, drive the interest up even more. But so far, I'm absolutely loving How to Love Your Elf Bride. Like, I think this show is really dope and really cool. If you guys didn't know, another one of my favorites that I actually only watched because I don't remember who, and I would love to be like, yo, I would love to give him props right now. But one of the folks in the comments, one of the recurring folks was like, yo, bro, you got to go watch Natsume's Book of Friends. And I was like, oh crap, like, you know, I haven't heard of this show. And he explained it to me and I was like, oh my god, like, yeah, that's my type of show. And I did, and I binge watched all three or four seasons. And Natsume Book of Friends is awesome. So if you guys haven't watched that show, please do. But this studio, Brainspace, they've worked on Natsume Book of Friends. They've worked on Inspector. That one didn't really vibe with me too much. I watched the first season, and it just didn't really vibe with me too much. They've done End Ride, which is okay. They've done what else have they worked on? They've done I think they did Spice and Wolf. They did To Your Eternity. I know a lot of people really love To Your Eternity, so they have a really, really good repertoire of anime. They've done Anonymous Noise. They've worked on My Little Monster. These are some of my favorites. I love My Little Monster. Anonymous Noise is really, really good too. If you guys haven't watched that one as well. They've worked on Nyanko Sensei, Rumbling Hearts, which is you know, this very old stuff. They did Kiss Him Not Me, which I think is really worth a watch. They did Princess Jellyfish, which is really worth a watch. They did Blood Lad, which I didn't really like that one very much. Going super duper old school, they also worked on the Kawaii Complex, which I really love as well too. So lots of really, really good stuff that this studio has done over the past year. So really good pedigree. So just for that reason and how much I'm enjoying this show, I think it's really awesome. Now, this is episode 3, so let me know how you guys feel about the show. This is the 3-episode rule. So how are you feeling about How to Love a Elf Bride here, Archdemon Dilemma? Like, how are you feeling about it? Are you going to continue? Are you dropping it? Are you going to let it stack up and binge later? Let me know in the comments. And with that being said, guys, episode number 3, 9 out of 10 for me. Honestly, I loved it. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, my friends.